Welcome back to another episode of the College Weekend Wrap-Up on Perfect Game. I'm Vinny Servino, college supervisor, and I'm joined by my friend Drew Wesolowski out of Atlanta, Georgia. Drew, how are you, man?
Vinny, doing well. Great to finally be on here for the first time. Been a long time coming.
Yeah, welcome to the
looking
show.
Forward to it. Awesome, man. Yeah, let's get down to it.
Yeah, so you were one of many of PG scouts that saw some intriguing college matchups this weekend. You were over in Athens for Georgia, Kentucky. So what did you really like out of the series? Obviously, talking between you and I, we were both pretty big fans of Jonathan Cannon. It sounded like you were as well.
Right, absolutely. I mean, Cannon was obviously Saturday night, mighty impressive, big frame, low 90s fastball, was mixing in a nice mid-80s cutter. It was shoved there for about 4 1/3. Let's not jump too forward, though. I mean, Webb Friday night is another big name. Not the biggest frame, nice, easy, loose arm from the left side. Really had a strong outing, really good. A lot of scouts in attendance. I think they both impressed a lot of people. It was a great 1-2 punch as we kind of saw early in the year, and we kind of projected that. Another big arm for them coming out of the bullpen was Harris, another lefty. He threw a career high 4 1/3, really shoved, and I think he shot up a lot of draft boards with his performance on Saturday.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the pitching that caught your eye. Obviously, there are some talented hitters there on the Kentucky side of things, and Austin Shultz and John Rhodes, excuse me. And you also got to see Georgia prize freshman Corey Collins, their true 3-hole hitter, go deep in the first inning on Saturday's game.
Yeah, wow. I mean, they kind of came out a little slow on offense Friday night. Saturday, a whole nother story. 3-run bomb that was still going up over the scoreboard in right field, Foley Field. Mighty impressive power. I mean, just lights out. The guy could just flat out swing it. He really came alive Saturday. His catching isn't quite as refined as they want it to be, but hey, he's young and the bat plays.
Super young guy. What did you think of Shultz and Rhodes?
Shultz is athletic, both of them very compact, athletic type builds. They play that twitchy type game. Shultz right there, it was in the leadoff spot, was a big spark. Aggressive on the pass, could really run. And Rhodes is very similar, plays a very similar game. I think Rhodes has a little bit more power. Sure. But yeah, they both play similar games. Both can play anywhere in the outfield, and both can swing it from the right side.
Yeah, Drew, elsewhere in the SEC, we had 2 top 10 matchups go down, both coming down to the rubber game on Sunday. Vanderbilt downs Tennessee, and Mississippi State comes out on top against Ole Miss. A lot of back and forth affairs in these ones. Obviously, good pitching performances, good timely hitting by clubs. Really kind of a preview almost to a super regional or an Omaha when you kind of felt the atmosphere watching those games.
Well, I'll tell you what, starting with Vanderbilt, with Rocker getting the velo back, I mean, That was impressive. That was nice to see. I think a lot of people had a lot of question marks there, which, in the long run, everything's going to be okay. And I think it was great to see him back up velocity-wise. And then on the other side of the spectrum, Leiter got lit up a little bit, I mean, Saturday night kind of got kicked around. I think it'll help him in the long run as well.
Yeah, and then with the Ole Miss series, too, Mississippi State just kind of showing the length of that lineup, really. And to me, what stood out, at least for the Bulldogs, is not only kind of the core group they have of guys, obviously Tanner Allen going off, guys like Cameron James producing, Logan Tanner with a wizardly throw. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter the other night. And then you look at the bullpen. The bullpen, I think, really is the separator between these two teams because it felt almost like Ole Miss was a little too reliant sometimes on too many guys, whereas Mississippi State was more consistent in that execution.
In the depth there, too, like you said, the depth out of the bullpen plays a big part of that, and I think that's why they ultimately ended up winning the series.
Yeah, and in that series, we saw a complete game heroic effort from Doug Nikhazy, but we also saw good pitching matches across the country. Drew, we had 2 no-hitters in college baseball last weekend. Who were?
Yeah, we had out of Gonzaga, we had Alex Jacob with a no-hitter, and then also on the whole other side of the country, we had Elliott Carney at Wofford. I mean, to throw a no-hitter in college baseball is one hell of an accomplishment. To do it in conference play is a whole nother deal.
Yeah, and a particular note on the Wofford one, that was the first no-hitter in program history. So congrats to those 2 guys. Looking elsewhere, a little small school action for you. Conference USA still remains kind of cluttered at top. Louisiana Tech split with Southern Miss this weekend, going 2-2. Obviously, those 2 teams, in addition to Charlotte and Old Dominion, both of which won their series this past weekend, will be competing right there at the top of the conference as it's shaping up to see that maybe all 4 of those teams get a regional bid. Right. And then Tulane went ahead and swept Wichita State to kind of establish themselves as that next team in the American Conference, obviously following top 5 East Carolina. So a couple conference matchups there for you in the American Conference USA as we head towards selection Sunday or Monday. I'm not quite sure which one it is.
You're right.
The field of 64. And one other thing I wanted to hit on was Notre Dame into this week's top 10. They come in at number 9 after winning their most recent series. And, Drew, they have not lost an ACC series all year long.
Right. Mighty impressive. I mean, Georgia Tech was just there. I saw Tech a few weeks back. Very strong. Tech has some young talent. Notre Dame kind of stuck it to them right there. Mighty impressive. Very deserving to be in the top 10.
Yeah, when you look at when you look at the Irish, to me, the first thing that stands out about this team is Niko Kavadas, left-handed hitting, slugging first baseman. Was a draft prospect last year, and when you look in terms of batted ball exit velocity, he's in the top 5 in the entire country. He's big, he's physical, he hits the ball extremely hard. He's in the top 5 in terms of home runs nationally. He's really been kind of the leader for that team, and you can't really say enough about Coach Link Jarrett either. Just getting the job for his first season in 2020, now has his team in the top 10, looking pretty much in a holding position to host when it comes to regional play. So congratulations to the Irish, and it's going to shape up to be one hell of a finish to the ACC to finish the year.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Well, we have new rankings for you coming out on perfectgame.org tomorrow morning. No new teams enter. There have been a couple shakeups. Obviously, a lot of the teams playing won their series, but also there were some losses. So there's some shakeups in terms of rankings, but no new teams. A lot of teams very close, obviously, as we head towards the finish of the season. We will have all of Drew's reports, including those on Ryan Webb, Jonathan Cannon, and others at perfectgame.org in our exclusive college player report database. So with that being said, Drew, thanks for joining me tonight, man.
Yes, of course, Ben. Thanks for having me.
And we will see you next week.